My family hijacked my vacation plans for my golden sister and her kids. But this time, I had my own secret escape plan. Reddit, I need some perspective on this. I need advice with my family predicament, which has been accumulating for decades, but it's a long one. Despite growing up in a seemingly typical suburban Massachusetts family, I, 35 degrees Fahrenheit, have always struggled with this particular dynamic. The golden child has always been my older sister, Kate, 42F. Our home has been a monument to Kate's life since I can remember, with every wall adorned with her accomplishments and every discussion focused on her life. My parents were too busy getting ready for Kate's college interviews to buy a cake for my 10th birthday, which I can still clearly recall. They even attempted to pass off Kate's leftover graduation cake, which still had her name on it, as my birthday cake. As I grew up, Kate's accomplishments eclipsed every significant event in my life. Kate had recently been selected to the debate team, so my parents were hardly aware that I had made the honor roll in middle school. Kate had to tour a college campus, so they were unable to attend the ceremony when I won a local painting competition in high school. Knowing that expressing my accomplishments would only elicit a brief, "That's nice, dear," before the topic of Kate was brought up again, I learned to celebrate them in private, in my room. Even our possessions revealed the priorities of our family. The newest technology, stylish clothing, and everything Kate needed for her many extracurricular activities were always in her room. In contrast, my room was filled with hand-me-downs. When I expressed interest in taking music lessons, I had to make do with Kate's abandoned violin, her old clothes, and her old school supplies. I had trouble playing the violin since it was too large for me. We already spent so much on Kate's piano lessons this year. My mother responded in response to my request for a suitably sized one. All the way through high school, the trend persisted. I was forced to use borrowed library books to study while Kate received private instruction for her SATs. My parents took out a loan for her to buy a car for college. They advised me to take the bus when I needed assistance getting about. Kate's needs and desires were at the center of every financial choice, family discussion, and holiday preparation. It was really difficult in college. With the full backing of our parents, Kate had earned her degree from a renowned university. They could only agree to pay half of the tuition at a public school when it was my turn. They clarified, "We're still paying off Kate's student loans. You'll need to figure out the rest on your own." In order to make ends meet, I worked 2 part-time jobs while I was a student, frequently dozing off over my textbooks. Kate, in the meantime, was beginning her career at a position our parents had helped her land through their contacts. 7 years ago, Kate got married, and everything changed, or rather, grew worse. For a whole year, our family's whole attention was on the wedding. For her ideal wedding, which included a designer gown, an opulent location, and a guest list of more than 300, my parents took out another loan. Despite their concerns about the payments, I recall hearing them in the kitchen one evening and their insistence that nothing was too good for Kate's special day. Was there ever any question that she was her maid of honor? I was supposed to coordinate bridal showers, plan a lavish bachelorette party, and manage any minor emergencies that arose. My mother told me, "Don't be selfish, Elizabeth. This is your sister's special time," when I expressed how stressed I was with juggling these obligations while working a full-time job. The twins followed. Our parents were ecstatic when Kate revealed she was expecting twins. Even though they were still repaying the wedding loan, they contributed to the down payment on a home close to them. I witnessed them spend their retirement money, which they claimed they couldn't access when I needed assistance with college, on the day they signed those documents. However, they claimed that this was different. "This is for our grandchildren." Who was the default babysitter, you ask? Yes, I do. It started out as sporadic babysitting. The request, "Elizabeth, could you watch the boys for a few hours?" became a weekly ritual, which was later extended to evenings whenever they had appointments. My parents were in favor of this arrangement, stating, "This is what family does." Kate and her husband Jack, 43 million, assumed that I would always be there to assist them whenever I attempted to object. Even while I adore them, the twins, who are now active 7-year-olds, are draining. The routine is the same every weekend. Kate unexpectedly drops them off at my place, usually with a pretext that she needs me time, or has essential errands to run. The lads run amok, transforming my tiny apartment into a catastrophe. Kate starts crying about how overwhelmed she is when I try to set limits or ask for advance warning, and my parents criticize me for not being supportive. I put in a lot of overtime to establish myself in the marketing industry. I recently received a promotion offer that would involve greater hours and more travel. My mother remarked, "But what about the twins? Your sister needs you here." Kate added, "You can't take that job, Elizabeth. Who will help me with the boys?" when I brought up this topic during a family dinner in the hopes of receiving some congratulations. It seems as though my time, profession, and life are completely irrelevant. My father adds, family should come first, Elizabeth. My mother always responds, your sister has 2 children to look after. You don't know what tired really means. When I tried to explain how overwhelming it all is, Kate accused me of being envious of her life and her kids. She replied, you're just bitter because you're still single, as though my marital status were the only factor that determines my value as a person. After a particularly demanding weekend with the twins, I made the decision to finally treat myself to a beach vacation last month. They had successfully damaged my laptop and left permanent markings on my couch. I knew I needed a vacation. I discovered a small, unpretentious resort in Florida that was ideal for a tranquil retreat. My mother's eyes glowed when I brought it up during our weekly family supper. Oh, that's perfect. We should all go together. The twins would love the beach. Before I could protest, Kate had already begun organizing events. She stated, you can take the boys swimming while Jack and I have some alone time, as though my trip would naturally turn into a time for them to be looked after. In exchange for my assistance with the twins, of course, my parents even offered to upgrade my reservation to a superior resort where they would all stay. Totally disregarding the fact that this was meant to be my vacation, they began organizing activities and outings centered around what the twins would like. I made a choice that would alter everything while I was lying in bed that night. I reserved a separate resort on a quiet little island. I kept the change in plans a secret from everyone. Silently, I began preparing by scheduling time off work, packing my things covertly, and ensuring that my emergency fund was available. Even though I know it's dishonest, I simply couldn't stand it any longer. At the airport, they will be separated from us. While I board my flight to another location, they will be traveling to Florida. I've disabled location sharing and am ready for the inevitable criticism. Yes, I am aware that there will be drama. Yes, I am aware that they will be upset. But I want to prioritize myself for the first time in my life. I've been the dependable sister, the ideal daughter, and the always available aunt for 35 years. To meet my family's expectations, I've given up my social life, my weekends, and my own needs. I was constantly babysitting, so I missed out on dating prospects. I have declined advancements that might conflict with the needs of my family. To be there for them whenever they need me, I've put my personal life on hold. Right now, I'm fleeing a lifetime of being taken advantage of, not just a holiday. I intend to utilize this as a turning point to set clear limits with my family and perhaps even take a complete vacation from them. I'm sick of always making sacrifices, being the family's pillar of support, and being the dependable fallback option. Reddit, what should I do? Am I exaggerating? Is it appropriate for me to want something else for myself, or should I merely follow their plans and accept my place in the family? First update, I appreciate all of your help and guidance. Since my last post, a lot has transpired, and I want to explain how it all turned out. Although everything went according to plan, the day at the airport was more emotionally fraught than I had anticipated. I purposefully chose a different check-in station that was far from where my family would be when I arrived early. I watched everyone come through the glass walls of the terminal, Jack checking their booking details, my parents looking excited, Kate handling the twins, and Kate hauling baggage. I silently went through security for my own flight as soon as they started to head to their check-in counter. As soon as they realized I wasn't at their gate, my phone began to buzz. The bewildered text first appeared. Where are you? Gate B12 is where we are. Then the anxious ones. How are you, Elizabeth? Has something taken place? And lastly, the irate ones. How could you treat us like this? The guys are in tears. Before I boarded my aircraft, I switched off my phone. I experienced a peculiar fusion of liberation and remorse for the first time in years. I had lived with that guilt for the majority of my life. However, freedom? It was exhilarating, and it was new. The crowded tourist destination they were going to was nothing like the little island where my resort was located. Years of strain vanished the instant I set foot on the beach. No twins to babysit, no family problems to handle, no schedule to adhere to. The ocean, me, and complete freedom. In fact, the first 2 days were challenging. The twins would be eating lunch now, or Kate would typically require assistance going to bed at this hour, so I kept checking the time. It's difficult to break decades of indoctrination. However, something changed on the 3rd day. I experimented with things I had always wanted to do but had never had time for. I loved every minute of my silly yet fun surfing lesson. I became friends with a bunch of lone travelers when I enrolled in a yoga class by the beach. I even had a spontaneous dinner date with a fascinating man I met at the resort's coffee shop one evening. Even though it was only a casual supper, it served as a reminder that I could live a life apart from my family. When I eventually turned my phone back on after 5 days, that was the true test. There were dozens of voicemails, more than 300 text messages, and 147 missed calls. Even my mother had called my place of employment to report a family emergency. Fortunately, I had previously told my supervisor that I would be taking a holiday. Some of the voicemails were played for me. My mother's tone changed from one of concern to one of rage to one of manipulation. "Elizabeth, how could you leave your family in such a way? The twins are inconsolable. Did we raise you this way?" Even worse were Kate's messages. "You've ruined everything. The lads are persistent in their request for Aunt Lizzie. I can't handle meetings by myself, so Jack had to shorten them." However, one message struck a different chord. My father sent it, and he seemed unsure for once. "Elizabeth, please let us know you're safe even though I don't understand what's happening." I had never heard him talk to me without instantly defending Kate or pressuring me to do more before. I texted our family group chat just once. "I'm having a great vacation and I'm safe. When I get back, I'll get in touch with you. Please give me space." I then turned off the conversation and resumed talking to myself. The following 5 days were life-changing. In addition to reading bedtime stories to the twins, I also read 3 novels. I spoke with other guests without interruption. Every evening, instead of rushing home to assist with baths and sleep, I watched the sunset. In order to digest years' worth of suppressed emotions, I even began journaling. I ate dinner at a little beachside eatery last night. When the elder waitress saw that I was alone, she inquired as to whether I was content with my seclusion. She said something that stuck with me after I gave her a brief explanation of my circumstances. "Family is vital, honey, but not at the expense of your own well-being. Putting yourself first is sometimes the boldest thing you can do." I didn't head straight to my flat when I got home. In order to give myself time to get ready for the inevitable confrontation, I had reserved a hotel room for 2 nights. During this period, I updated my work emergency contacts, changed the locks on my doors, and, above all, put my boundaries in writing. I accidentally liked a coworker's post on social media, which is how my family found out I was back. My mother and Kate arrived at my apartment building in a matter of hours, constantly buzzing my intercom. Across the street, I watched them from the window of my hotel room, feeling oddly cut off from their spectacular performance. I'm going to confront them tomorrow, at a neutral coffee shop, not my residence. I know it won't be simple, but I've prepared what I want to say. When I consider it, my hands tremble. But I'm choosing myself for the first time in my life. And I know I'm doing the right thing in spite of the worry, the guilt, and the drama that will undoubtedly ensue. I'll provide another update following my talk with my family. I'm grateful because Reddit gave me the confidence to take this first step toward independence. Second update. As scheduled, my family and I gathered at the coffee shop, and it was even more heated than I had anticipated. This is what took place. The encounter at the coffee shop began politely enough. I got there early and sat at a corner table, where I could see the front door and the emergency exit, a habit I'd formed from years of expecting family drama. I could hardly grasp my coffee cup because my hands were shaking so much. My parents, Kate, and, surprisingly, Jack all showed up together. I am glad there are no twins. I raised my hand and said what I had practiced before they began their planned speeches. I'm establishing boundaries, and they can't be negotiated. The 2 hours that followed were a masterclass in manipulating emotions. Kate started crying as she described how my absence had traumatized the twins. My mom attempted to instill guilt, following all that we have done for you. Unexpectedly, Jack tried to mediate by offering a compromise in which I would only see the kids every other weekend. For the most part, my dad sat quietly and uneasy. Kate's statement, "You're being selfish. Family means sacrifice," was the pivotal moment. Something broke inside of me. Clearly but calmly, I responded, "Yes, family means sacrifice, but it's supposed to go both ways. When was the last time any of you sacrificed anything for me?" The ensuing hush was deafening. I revealed everything for the first time: the years of being Kate's second best friend, the unfair financial treatment, and the ongoing belief that my life and time were not as valuable as theirs. I then showed them my calendar for the previous year, with every weekend designated for babysitting and every holiday tailored to their requirements. Attempting to interrupt, my mother said, "But that's what aunts do." I responded by saying something I had never before dared to say. "No, that's what paid babysitters do. And Kate, if you need this much help, maybe it's time to consider hiring one." From there, the discussion took a different turn. My mother followed Kate as she rushed out. Remarkably sorry, Jack remained and acknowledged that they had exploited my availability. After remaining silent for a while, my father said, "We never meant to make you feel this way. It was something, but it wasn't an apology." I carried out my strategy when they departed. I relocated to a different area of the city and got a new apartment. Although it's smaller than my previous residence, it's in a safe building with a doorman who has been informed of my predicament. Only my workplace and a select group of close pals now have my updated phone number. Rebuilding my life from scratch was the most difficult aspect, not the relocation or the planning. I had no true hobbies and few close acquaintances because I had spent years being there for my family. I began modestly. I enrolled in pottery lessons, joined a local reading club, and accepted dinner invitations from coworkers that I had previously consistently declined. It was a weird first weekend of real freedom. I did things that were previously unthinkable, including staying up late, going to a farmer's market, and spending hours perusing a bookshop. Kate didn't text me urgently. Mom doesn't make guilt-tripping calls. No requests for last-minute babysitting. My family's response to my relocation was harsh but expected. When my mother attempted to contact me via the company switchboard, they learned that my new job does not allow personal calls during business hours. On one occasion, Kate even visited my office, but security was alerted beforehand. She wrote a tearful letter accusing me of destroying our family. Jack was the source of the unexpected development. He apologized by email for his part in making the scenario possible. At first, Kate objected to him taking the twins to events on the weekends, but she has since come to terms with it. It's a minor yet important modification. My folks are having a hard time adjusting. Dad occasionally texts, usually in an embarrassing attempt to strike up a conversation. Mom fluctuates between angry outbursts and icy quiet. She left a voicemail last week stating, "When you're done with this rebellion, we'll welcome you back." This isn't a phase, and she doesn't get it. My new reality is this. Without regular family interruptions, work has significantly improved. I'm more productive and focused. After noticing the shift, my supervisor assigned me to oversee a significant new project. For the first time in years, I'm also dating casually, but I'm taking it slow. Internally, there has been the biggest shift. I no longer have the ongoing background anxiety that I had for years. I've started exercising frequently, improved my diet, and slept better. According to my therapist, yes, I have finally begun therapy. I am beginning to recuperate from what she refers to as chronic family stress syndrome. The twins sent me a gift last weekend that included handcrafted notes expressing how much they miss me. Even though it was bittersweet, I remained resolute. I carefully wrote them back to let them know that, although I love them, I need some time to look after myself. I had to write it even though Kate is unlikely to read it to them. "There's a lightness about you now. You look years younger," observed an old acquaintance of mine when I ran into her yesterday. She is correct. I feel lighter in spite of the angry texts, the efforts at emotional manipulation, and the guilt that still surfaced. More liberated. Family love shouldn't feel like a prison sentence, I'm discovering. Respect for personal space, acknowledgement of one's own needs, and reciprocal assistance, rather than only one-sided sacrifice, are all components of true love. My new flat will be 1 month old next week. This is the first time I've ever dared to throw a tiny housewarming celebration. Only a few buddies from pottery class, book club, and work. No expectations, no drama, no family, just individuals who embrace me for who I am. I'll provide another update soon. I'm grateful to Reddit for giving me the confidence to make a life shift. Update 3. Completed update. It has been a life-changing 3 months, and I want to describe how it has all come together. The confrontation I had been dreading and anticipating arrived last week. My father unexpectedly came up to my place of employment. His method was distinct from Kate's emotional manipulations or my mother's prior frenzied attempts. When he asked if we could have lunch together, he was composed, even resigned. We got together at a peaceful eatery close to my workplace. For the first time in my life, he truly saw me as his daughter, not as Kate's sister or the family's fallback option. He remarked, "You look healthy," in a startled tone. Happier. The fact that he hadn't seen my discontent for years weighed heavily on the observation that lingered between us. The family had presented him with a proposal. They were prepared to make concessions. If I agreed to take back my place in the family, I could have every other weekend off. He went on to say, they'd even pay for my time with the twins, as though making money off of the commitment would make it more alluring. They still didn't understand, I realized as I looked at him across the table. They did not view my independence as a basic right, but rather as a negotiating chip. "Dad," I replied, "I'm not negotiating my freedom. I'm living it." The conversation that ensued was the most candid one I have ever had with my father. I described how their incessant focus on Kate had impacted me emotionally as much as practically. I told him about memories he had forgotten or had never noticed, dreams disregarded, accomplishments overlooked, and birthdays neglected. His reaction was surprising. He sat for a long time in quiet, not making the normal defense of their decisions. At last, he stated, "We thought we were doing what was best for the family. We never saw how much we were hurting you." Although that wasn't quite an apology, it was the first time I had ever been acknowledged. When he inquired about my new life, that was the true turning point. He paid attention for the first time as I discussed my pottery lessons, my job advancement, and the new acquaintances I had made. Even though it was not flawless, I showed him pictures of a vase I had built. I was shocked by what he said next. "You seem to have built a good life for yourself without us." Both the recognition and the grief in his voice were genuine. We agreed at the end of lunch that nothing would ever be the same again. He gave me my first sincere embrace in years as he bid farewell. "I hope someday we can be part of your life again, but on different terms." That exchange appeared to set off a final round of family strife. After learning of our lunch, my mother began a fresh round of emotional attacks. She has been informing family members that I need an intervention because I'm having a breakdown. Kate has been making passive-aggressive remarks about selfish sisters and broken families on social media because she feels deceived by our father's approval of my decisions. The difference is that none of it has the same impact on me as it formerly did. I've gained a viewpoint from my new life that I didn't have previously. Their actions, in my opinion, are an attempt to keep control over someone who has finally gained their freedom. My new flat seems like home now. My attempts at pottery and pictures of my chosen family, friends who value my independence and respect boundaries, adorn the walls. I've begun teaching my less experienced coworkers at work, ending the vicious loop of toxic support that has long ensnared me. My connection with time has changed the most. I get to spend the weekends any way I want. I've started learning Spanish, joined a local hiking group, and even started dating someone who respects and values my limits. I'm creating a life for the first time that is true to who I am rather than what my family demands of me. The twins sent me a homemade card last Sunday, which was obviously written under supervision. It was filled with regrettable statements about how much they miss their aunt. This would have previously led me into a downward spiral of uncertainty and remorse. Rather, I responded with a tender yet strong letter, stating that although I may not be as involved in their everyday life, my love for them hasn't changed, and that sometimes grown-ups need to look for themselves. According to my therapist, I am exhibiting what she refers to as post-traumatic growth, not merely moving past the past but creating something more robust and wholesome in its stead. She has assisted me in realizing that I am not responsible for resolving the dysfunction in my family. Yesterday was the most recent development. Jack, Kate's husband, contacted me to let me know that my stance has caused changes in their home, not to place blame on me. They've finally recruited part-time help to help with the twins, and he's become a more involved parent. Jack believes it's better for everyone, but Kate is having trouble adjusting. I'm sitting in my home office getting ready for a business trip next week as I write this last update, something I could never have done in my previous life. A framed quotation that speaks to my path is on the wall behind my desk. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is set yourself free. I want to express my gratitude to everyone who supported me and followed my tale. You gave me the confidence to make my own decisions. If you're wondering if people in comparable circumstances are selfish for desiring their own lives, know that you're not. Being free is not selfish. Treating oneself is not unkind. Setting limits is not a sign of treachery. I have no idea how my relationship with my family may develop in the future. Perhaps one day we'll discover a different kind of connection, one based on respect for one another rather than duty. In the interim, I'm concentrating on fostering the life I've built, including my friendships, interests, profession, and, above all, my sense of self. This is not merely a conclusion, it's just the beginning. And I'm looking forward to what comes next for the first time in my life. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.